harvest, it's already white. We don't, as Christians, we don't get that. Because when we still, when somebody steps foot in our church, we still look at them in judgment because of the way they're dressed. We still sit there and sitting in the pews like, oh, he must be a gangbanger because look at the way he's dressed. Oh, look, she must be a hoe. Look at the way she's dressed. Instead of when looking at somebody, when somebody new comes in the door, looking at their walk, looking at the way they hurt. Wow, she looks like she's been walking scornfully. She's looking like she's been walking in somebody else's shoes. He looks like he's been walking in somebody else's armor that don't fit him.
Come on now.
Yeah, we walk a lot in our daddy's armor, and it don't fit. It don't fit. Our daddy's armor don't fit because sometimes it's too heavy. We don't know what he might be going through. So we choose to put it on and we fall. And we wonder why. Why do I gotta go through this? Well, if you understand whose you are, you wouldn't have to go through it. We have to understand whose we are. Dad and mom were simply a vessel used to get you here. When you grow up, you're no longer dad or mom's, you become God's. You become God's child. Mom and dad are simply used to try to train you up, try to teach you his ways, but then after that, you're no longer theirs. You become God's child. So why do you continue running back to mommy and daddy when you should be running to God? You don't need mom or dad's approval. All you need is God's approval. That's all you need. King Solomon knew that. King Solomon knew that. He also knew what to say to get that approval and much more. Because why? Because he already had that approval. He already had that approval. Don't matter what they talked about. Don't matter what they said about his God, his dad. He wasn't going to let that spoil the dream. He wasn't going to let that spoil his happiness. He wasn't going to let that spoil his riches, his glory. He wasn't going to let anything spoil what God had for him. See, we're too busy being rebellious because we want our parents' approval. Well, all along we should just want God's approval. Because when it's all said and done, when you're sitting there on Judgment Day, Daddy and Mommy aren't going to be there. Daddy and Mommy aren't going to say, but God, my mijito was good in Sunday school. Mijito, he was good. When I told him to wash he took forever, but he did it. My mijita, even though she looked tondita, but she still did it. Even though mijita was, she was hard-headed, but eventually she got it. Your parents aren't going to be there to show you up. It's going to be you and him. He's going to say, what have you done for me lately? Who are you? Who? Why should I let you in? Why should I let you in? Well, and because, I'm Janie's child. That's why. I'm Janie's grandchild. That's not going to work, man. Well, don't you know my nana? Don't you know who my nana is? And yeah, nana's going to be in the background throwing a chunk at you. You better watch out. You better watch out. You better watch out. But see, when it's all said and done, it's going to be you and him all over again. See, it was him and Solomon in a dream. It was him and Solomon face to face. Face to face. Imagine if God appeared to you face to face and you lived to talk about it. Would you talk about God or would you talk about the dream?
That's That's good. That's good.
Would you talk about God, or would you talk about the dream? Or would you allow people, or would you just be quiet like a mute? Because of what people would think. I see, Charlie God appeared to you. I see eres muy acá because God appeared to you. What did he tell you? That's how people look at us. They can't imagine God talking to you because he hasn't talked to me yet. If God hasn't appeared to me and I've been in the church for 12 years, come on. But he's just going to appear to you all of a sudden because you got saved? That's the way people look at us. Look at you. What did he tell you? Go change your hairstyle? I mean, that's the first thing people think. Like, oh, look, he can't be too. Look, he looks too mafioso. Look at the way he dresses. What pastor dresses like that? Oh my God. He doesn't even talk proper. That's how we look. We get looked at because we are who we are. We're who we are. I'm not going to change who I am. I'm not. You know, man. This is who it is. What you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. Wouldn't you want that instead of something to put up front? And then you take the mask off and, oh yeah. Remember how when you were drunk, you partied all the time and you woke up and, oh my God, somebody's playing a joke on me. You know? That's how it was. And that's why God appears most likely to a lot of people at the midnight hour. Why? Because that's when Satan appeared to us. The violent wasn't a violent until it hit midnight. And then you start, you start breaking down. You didn't start getting going until after midnight. You didn't start reacting until midnight. Like, oh, better go make the last run, beer run. Better go make the last run. Midnight's coming around. Oh my God. Oh my, I know there's fine guys now. Oh my God, look at him. Midnight. Especially for those of us who clubbed. It wasn't good until midnight hour, right? Right? What did the song say? I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour, right? They waited to the midnight hour for a reason. See, God appeared to Solomon, and the Bible says at nighttime, right? But if we go on to read in that same chapter, then there's another story there that determines life and death. Life and death. Let's read that real quick. Verse 16 says, there came two women that were harlots unto the king and stood before him. This is talking about two women that came before King Solomon. Two women, both of them were pregnant. One delivered 3 days before the other. And the Bible made sure to tell us who they were. Right? They were whores. They were women of the night. Prostitutes. Harlots. And the one woman said, oh my Lord, I and this woman dwell in the house. And I was delivered of a child with her in the house. And it came to pass that the third day after that I was delivered, that this woman also delivered. And we were together. In other words, they lived together. There was no stranger with us in the house, except we two in the house. In other words, she's making her case to the judge, to the king, saying, look, me and this chick, we live together. Because nobody else wants us. Because of what we do. Anyways, we were both pregnant at the same time, probably by the same vato. And then I delivered first, and then 3 days later she delivered. And then it goes on to say that, and it came to pass, verse 19, and this woman's child died in the night because she overlaid it.
She rolled on it.
She rolled on it. She wasn't used to having a child there. It was her first child. And being the selfish woman that she was, she rolled on it. Boom. And suffocated her baby. Her baby died. Her baby died. And verse 20, and she arose at midnight. She arose at midnight and took my son from beside me, while thy handmaid slept, and laid it in her bosom, and laid her dead child in my bosom. Now, you mean to tell me, if your child's laying by you, you're not going to feel somebody take him from you? You're not going to come and you're not going to feel your baby being took? You probably won't, if you're not used to your baby sleeping with you. You probably won't if you're in your third dream, dreaming about what you're going to do next day. You probably won't feel it if you're not used to it.